In the past, if you needed to perform 2 or more operations on geometry in LightBurn, it meant you needed to have duplicate shapes that were stacked on top of each other, or if you were lucky, you could use the now defunct fill plus line layer type. But not anymore. With the release of 1.2, we are launching a new feature, sublayers. Sublayers will allow you to create up to 11 different operations of different modes utilizing a single cut layer. To use sublayers, all we need is geometry on a single cut layer. Once you have a layer that you would like to work on, if you click the mode drop-down, you may notice an option is missing. Fill plus line is now dealt with through sublayers and is no longer a mode option. Note: if a project with fill plus line layers is opened in LightBurn 1.2 or newer, fill plus line will be converted into 2 sublayers, a fill and a line. Once saved, you will no longer be able to load it into older versions of LightBurn. If this is important to you, please save a copy of the older file. To add more operations to this layer, double-click on the layer and open up the Cut Settings dialog. Notice the new buttons at the top of the window. Plus adds a new sublayer tab after the last tab. New sublayers are created with default settings. Copy will duplicate the current layer and add it after the last tab. Minus deletes the current sublayer. Sublayer name lets you name the current sublayer. This is useful in complex Galvo projects with many steps. The output sublayer toggle lets you enable or disable the current sublayer. This is useful when you want to just rerun a portion of your project. To reorder sublayers, you can freely drag them side to side and place them in any order. Sublayers run in ascending order from 1 through 11. At this time, sublayers are not available for images. When we hit OK to exit the Cut Settings editor, look at the mode or speed or power column, and you will notice that they are now set to multi and not able to be changed. You will also notice that Quick Settings now has sublayer tabs. You can change all the settings that you are used to in the Quick Settings, as well as reorder the sublayers here. So now that we have some geometry and have looked at the sublayers, let's add some operations and demonstrate them using the preview window. Double-click on the layer with your geometry to open up the Cut Settings editor. For this demo, we want 3 sublayers. If you don't already have them, go ahead and hit the plus sign twice. Make sure all of the sublayers are set to output as well. Now, set the first layer to fill and give it a line interval of 1 millimeter. This is larger than we would use on a real project, but it makes the results very easy to see in the preview. Set the scan angle to 45. Now, set the second layer to fill as well. We'll also give this sublayer a line interval of 1 millimeter. Set the scan angle of this layer to 0. Now, select the last sublayer and set the mode to line. Whatever settings you have here are fine, we're just going to run the preview for this. Hit OK to close the Cut Settings editor, and click the Preview button in the toolbar or press Alt-P to open the preview window. When we play back the cut, notice the 2 fill sublayers run in order, with the line sublayer running last. If we close out of the preview, we can use the tabs in Quick Settings to quickly reorder the operations. Open Preview again and look at how the order of operations has changed. Notice the first fill at the 45-degree angle runs. Now line is playing second. And then our second fill runs at the end. You should take some time after this video to experiment with sublayers and the new uses this opens up. Some final notes. Priority and optimization settings work the same way they used to. For this example, we're using the default settings of Optimize Cut Path turned on and Order by Layer set to the top priority. This will have your cut layers running in order like you're used to, and your sublayers running from 1 to 11 like we discussed in the earlier portion of this video. If you use different optimization settings, we recommend experimenting with the preview window to confirm expected behavior. You can also have sublayers included in your library entries as well. These are created the same way a normal library entry is made, by setting up a cut layer and then using the library window and clicking Create New from Layer. Give the material a name and a title and a quick description. This has been a brief overview of how to utilize the new sublayers tool in LightBurn. We are excited to see how this empowers our users to make projects more efficiently and consistent. If you have not already, subscribe and ring the bell to not miss any future videos, and be sure to check out our existing tutorial playlist for additional guides on mastering LightBurn.